to Big Monday. This was the scene earlier today on the George Washington Bridge in New York. If you're snowed in on the East Coast, might be a nice night to sit by the fire and watch two of the best teams in the nation. It is Big Monday. It is the Big 12 on ESPN. And it is Lubbock, the scene tonight of Big Monday for Texas Tech and Oklahoma. Now, in the Big 12, they are all still chasing Baylor, ranked number 2, and the Bears have looked unbeatable so far this season. But the story in this league of late has been the play of the Oklahoma Sooners as they make it 3 top 10 teams for the Big 12 and 6 of them ranked overall. Because over the last week and a half, the Sooners, if they were in New York or Boston right now, they'd probably melt the snow. They have been that hot. The third team ever to beat 3 straight AP top 10 teams. They vault 15 spots. Their highest one-week jump ever, and they are back in the AP top 10 for the first time since 2018. Hi again, everyone. Bob Wischusen and Fran Fraschilla. It is time for Big Monday, and Trae Young was in Norman, Fran, the last time that the Oklahoma Sooners were a top 10 team. Davion Harmon, well, he's not quite Trae Young. He's beat a different path for Oklahoma, but he is a big reason why they have had this resurgence.
Yeah, I think he came to Oklahoma thinking he would be Trae Young. He just needed to be Davion Harmon. His freshman year was up and down. Went back home, re-energized in Denton, Texas with his dad Dion this spring, and he is playing outrageous basketball, fundamentally sound, getting it done. Now, we got an All-American candidate on our hands for Texas Tech. Mac McClung, the transfer from Georgetown, has been absolutely outstanding, Bob. It's not just the stats, but he brings a swagger to the South Plains that wears well with Chris Beard, the fan base, and his teammates.
Can Oklahoma slow down Mac McClung? And can Texas Tech collectively slow down Oklahoma? Without Austin Reeves and Alondas Williams again tonight, and OU gets a takeaway on the game's first possession as Jalen Hill gets the steal. So, Fran, again, the impact of no Reeves, no Alondas Williams on this lineup.
Well, this is still an athletic team. They're not as deep as they would be, Bob, but this guy, the way he's getting off to this start, bodes well. And then you see the lineup for Texas Tech. Watch out for Marcus Santos-Silver tonight. He's a high-energy inside guy who could have a big game.
Davion Harmon had 18 in the win Saturday against Alabama in the SEC Big 12 Challenge. He gets Oklahoma on the board first, and here is Santos Silva in the post, handing one off to Kevin McCullough, getting it back. Those two-play catch, 5 to shoot. McCullough in the mid-range. That's no good. The back tap, though, keeps it alive for the Red Raiders. McClung steps into a 3. That's off the mark, and Jalen Hill has it.
This is still an athletic team, Bob. Davion Harmon goes back to the point guard where he played last year. And keep your eye on Mo Gibson, the transfer from North Texas, who can really shoot it.
The pass from Harkless sails over Kerquette. So it's a turnover for Lon Kruger's team. And Fran, we'll take a deeper dive a little bit later in the game into the brain of Lon Kruger, but there's a lot of X's and O's that are constantly swirling between those ears.
He's a mastermind, especially when it comes to setting up his offense.
Santos Silva rebounded on the weak side by Elijah Harkless. The hit ahead. Harmon cruises in. That won't go. Santos Silva outlets.
Good challenge by Mac McClung to get back on defense and challenge. Texas Tech at their best when that ball goes side to side before they drive it.
The freshman Micah Peavy comes up short. Elijah Harkless has been a good story as well for Oklahoma.
He really has, Bob. The transfer from Northridge, I compare him in a way to Marcus Garrett at Kansas. He does so many things to help the Sooners win, and he brings a toughness that they love.
The steal by McCullough, and he's fouled by Queth. Took it away from Kerquette. And then the 6'10" center commits the foul.
Well, this guy, Kevin McCullough, he missed the first part of the season with an ankle injury, but he's their glue guy, if you will. He does dirty work. He's only 6'6", but he is Chris Beard's poster child for toughness right now.
Chris Beard had one of the all-time, insightful ways, I think, to look at the kind of player that Kevin McCullough is. We talked to him last week. Said, I told Kevin McCullough, all the ways that you know how to impact the game in the NBA, you know what they call you, a role player? Well, they also call you a multimillionaire if you make it
Exactly.
that far. And that's a lesson to be learned.
No, I think you're right. He reminds me of Royce O'Neal, who played at Baylor, went undrafted, and now a key cog on that red-hot Utah Jazz team. That's a good call, Bob. And he's only a sophomore. Little fake pressure by Texas Tech to slow Oklahoma down, who has been really, really operating on all offensive cylinders.
Manek leans in. So Brady Manek makes his first appearance and misses from short range. An acceleration from McClung, throws it to nowhere. Davion Harmon looks over his shoulder, feels the pressure, and leaves it for Jalen Hill.
Good hustle by Jalen Hill. That could have easily been a breakaway layup, but he kept running. And he, along with Gibson, have been outstanding off the bench, Bob.
Umoja Gibson right now draws the Mac McClung assignment. Santos Silva shovels an underhand pass, and the reverse is there for McCullough.
Pretty finish by McCullough. He used that backboard to protect that shot. When I went to Oklahoma in October, Lon Kruger told me, will we develop a bench? The answer is yes, they really have. And the bench is key tonight because they are shorthanded.
Harmon off the skip pass. That's an air ball.
That's a tough
McCullough
shot.
again wins the 50-50 battle.
It's 80-20 with him, Bob.
McCullough got caught in the lane, but found a cutter in McCullough, and he draws the foul. It has been some kind of run of late for the Sooners. They've made history. We'll put it in perspective when we come back, how well they're playing of late. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. Over the last 25 years, there are only 2 teams that have won 3 games in a row against AP Top 10 competition. In 2014, Michigan was able to win 3 straight against Big 10 competition. And Kansas, Texas, and in the Big 12 SEC Challenge on Saturday, Alabama. Those are the 3 victims of late for Oklahoma. And what has this done in terms of national recognition for the Sooners? Well, Fran, look at this. Mid-January, there wasn't an AP voter out there that was even putting Oklahoma on their ballot. And by the time we get to February 1st, they have gone all the way up into the top 10.
Yeah, and I think you could say they've taken advantage of the opportunity to play so many ranked teams and play well. And it's a credit to this group, which is somewhat unheralded, much like their coach, Lon Kruger. Solid man-to-man. They are athletic, Bob. They're together.
Shannon gives it up, and Edwards knocks it down with 4 on the shot clock.
That guy might be the X factor for this season. Kyler Edwards, who played 42 minutes in 2 Final Four games as a freshman, but he's only involved in 18% of the possessions when he's on the court. Not enough, in my opinion.
Seven to shoot for Harmon. To Manek in the corner. That's short.
And Brady's been coming up short on those shots. Remember, he was in COVID protocol for 2 weeks and really lost his mojo. Second half of that Alabama game, he was outstanding, especially with some toughness inside and a big 3 as well.
He had 12 points against Alabama, but you're right. The previous 3 games, 6 points, 5 points, 1 point. So he may have missed a couple of games because of the COVID protocol, but clearly it took him a week and a half to get his legs back under him. And if Brady Manek does get those shooting legs back under him, that will do a lot to alleviate the fact they don't have Austin Reeves and Alondas Williams. That wing jumper not there for Umoja Gibson.
Good ball movement, just couldn't knock it down. He's a reliable outside shooter.
Jamarius Burton gets to the baseline, bounces a tough one in the corner, and getting caught in midair was Kyler Edwards, and he turns it over.
Yeah, too much traffic. They've got to get that ball and use all 50 feet of that half court. They get stuck on that baseline. There's not much room down there. You'll watch now. You'll see a lot of switching by Texas Tech, and we'll try to expose how Lon Kruger may take advantage of that tonight.
Manick in the post. The quick jump hook won't go.
Yeah, Bob, see that? He's been coming up short a lot on his misses. You mentioned his legs getting under him. I think that's a key point.
The runner off the mark for Shannon. Here comes Umoja Gibson. Bullet pass from Harkless. Jalen Hill, he's short. Manick on the offensive glass is able to clean it up.
Air ball, that was an advantage. Sometimes the defender is waiting for that ball to hit the rim and come off, and Brady snuck inside. Well, you see Harkless going to work defensively. What an addition. Jump shot.
And Shannon hit the backboard first. The long rebound to Micah Peavy. And a fresh 20 on the clock for Texas Tech. Burton knocks it down as Harkless tried right in front of the veteran official, John Higgins, to draw an offensive foul. And Higgins, he just kind of stared at him while he laid on the baseline.
Yep.
He wasn't buying that one.
As long as he's that way both ways tonight.
Scoop, and one for Harkless.
Well, this kid's a great story. He very, very lightly recruited out of Etijuana High School in Rialto, California, about 60 miles east of LA. He signed with Cal Northridge, our former colleague Martin Gottfried, and after 2 years, Bobby wanted to play at a higher level and played for a great coach there who's coached some NBA players like Jordan McLaughlin and Darren Collison. And Lon Kruger has said since he's gotten to campus and we've gotten to know this young guy, he brings real toughness to this team on both ends of the floor.
Well, when there were travel restrictions in place because of COVID, he was not even able to visit Oklahoma. His first visit to the campus, he had already committed. He was an Oklahoma Sooner before he ever met the coaching staff in person. So, right, it's the new world, the new normal that we have to live in right now. It's recruiting by Zoom.
Well, and Joe Castiglione, athletic director, liked the fact that they saved a little money on the recruiting visit. They can
Shot
be
clock down to
airtight.
4. McCullough in and out for 3.
They are a very tough, conservative play inside the three-point line defense. They don't give a lot up at the rim. These are tough shots. Harmon's got to create.
Harmon instead settles for a long jumper, and McCullough's got the rebound.
This is where they miss Austin Reeves now, because Austin Reeves at 6'5" is a point guard who can get anywhere on the floor. They didn't miss him as much on Saturday as they may miss him tonight because the emotion's worn off, and now we're back into league play.
How about Clarence Nadolny getting some playing time that Chris Beard said with his work in practice he has earned, and all of a sudden he has shown up in the box score pretty frequently of late for Tech as well.
Oh, he's talented. He's a young man from Paris, France, and he's got talent. He's waited his turn the last 2 years. Good D both ways.
Harkless gives it up to Gibson. And the long rebound run down by TJ Shannon.
You're not seeing the easy shots they got against Alabama.
Nadolny draws a foul on Harkless. Will step aside. It is day one of Black History Month, and making an impact social justice-wise? Kyler Edwards. The core values for the Red Raiders. We'll explain.
The team and I wanted to make a patch that was unique. One day I was just scrolling through Twitter and I seen a post about how bad apples, nobody wants a bad apple, and it pretty much means that we want to get rid of all the bad apples in all walks of life, including like police brutality, sexist, racist. I just want to get rid of it.
Bob Wischusen and Fran Fraschilla back on Big Monday, and you can see that Apple core representing Get the Bad Apples Out is on the jersey of Texas Tech. And Fran, this is a tight-knit group that Chris Beard has.
Yeah, no question. They do a lot of things off the court as well as on the court. A lot of sacrifice here. This is a hard-working group. Put a lot of time in.
McCullough turns it over. That's already 5 Texas Tech turnovers for a team that doesn't turn it over often. They average just a shade over 11 turnovers per game. That's already 5 in the first 10 minutes. They had 20 turnovers in their loss a couple of weeks ago to Baylor. And Chris Beard talked about after that game, he thought that was the #1 Achilles heel that kept them from having a chance to pull off that upset.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things happens is this is the second time these teams are playing, so this is like a neighborhood rivalry. They know each other really well, and you can pretty much be in your opponent's imprint when they run offense.
2 to shoot.
They've challenged Davion tonight.
That's going to be a shot clock violation as that ball didn't touch the rim.
31%, another turnover for Oklahoma. And you can see, at least early, missing Austin Reeves, who, in my mind, is a first-team All-Big 12 point guard. And Harmon's going to have to pick up the slack because he's the only creator on this team. And when he gets to the basket, he's also got to look for his teammates tonight.
Edwards. No good. Santos Silva taps it to McClung. A new possession. What a pocket picked by Gibson. And he cruises in for 2.
Sloppy play and an easy basket is something that Oklahoma really needed right there. Young man from Waco, Texas, who signed with North Texas, and former Baylor assistant Grant McCaslin. He wanted to play a little bit higher level. 29 early in the year against West Virginia.
Another long possession, deep into the shot clock. 5 to shoot. Kyler Edwards, double teamed. 2 to put one up. Bullet pass to the wing. They beat the timer, but McCullough couldn't knock it down. Elijah Harkless, that's short.
A lot of contested shots for Oklahoma. You saw even there, shot goes up, hand in the face.
Both teams shooting under 35% so far. And what a Super Tuesday doubleheader we have for you tomorrow night on ESPN and the app. At 7 Eastern, 2 teams in the top 6 in the Big 12. It's the matchup of the night. Texas, Baylor, and then we head to Big 10 country for number 12 Illinois squaring off against Indiana in Bloomington. So from the Big 12 to the Big 10 on Super Tuesday tomorrow night. There's a tip follow from Micah Peavy, the freshman.
Talking about that game tomorrow, Bob. Texas lost twice last year to Baylor. You ready for this? Both games, total average per game, 44.5 points. If I were Texas, the way they played like country club guys last year, I'd be fired up to play Baylor tomorrow night. And let that one go too, John Higgins.
Yeah, John Higgins was not buying that Micah Peavy flop. Peavy to the cup. That won't go. Kirkquette challenged him, got a deflection, and back the other way comes Davion Harmon. He'll cross over, and he'll throw one to no man's land.
Out of sync right now. They're not really running any offense, and you got to credit Texas Tech. Switching, taking away the lane, and without Reeves, again, not a lot of dribble penetration to create.
Jalen Hill, 1-on-2. 3 to shoot. It will stay with Oklahoma when we come back. Mac McClung hasn't scored yet, the leading scorer in the Big 12 in conference play, and yet Tech is up by 4. It is Big Monday, but it's a big player that Oklahoma is missing, Fran. Without Austin Reeves, arguably the best they've had so far this season. They have still been red hot.
Yeah, but they miss him tonight, Bob. There's no question. The former Wichita transfer, he went to Wichita as a two-guard, played two-guard last year, and when Mon Kruger made the switch with Harmon and Reeves, it really energized this offense. And we talked to Lon yesterday, and he said Austin will be cleared for practice Wednesday, should be back for the weekend, but I felt Saturday they could play. Well, I felt more uncomfortable about this game tonight because I thought they played with great emotion on Saturday. In Alabama, when they knew Reeves was not in the lineup, would let down a little bit. That's exactly what happened. Chris Beard's not going to do that tonight. He's going to try to stomp on Oklahoma, figuratively, of course, while they're down.
Well, that's OU's fourth turnover, as it's a shot clock violation coming back after the timeout. Mac McClung hasn't scored, and yet Texas Tech has the lead. That has to be a glass half full, glass half empty situation for Chris Beard.
And he's only got one field goal attempt. Done a good job of smothering him.
Peavy with 5 to shoot. Swing it to McCullough in the corner. 2 on the timer. He fades away. That comes up short. Another rebound for Harkless.
Missing Reeves is a reason why they have 0 assists right now, Oklahoma.
Jalen Hill needs some help.
Good switching. They're keeping the ball in front of them tonight with good, smart switching.
Queth can't knock one down.
This is where McClung is dangerous. Transition.
Harkless is attached to McClung with 10 to shoot. He goes away from the screen, pulls up. That's a brick. And Harkless has his 4th rebound. Gibson kicks one out to Jalen Hill. Queth taps it right to McCullough. Both teams now shooting about 25% from the field.
I was going to say neither coach will be invited to an offensive clinic this spring, but in point of fact, these teams just know each other, and without Reeves, and remember, Tech doesn't have a pure point guard. Does this go down? Nope.
That does not for McClung. Weak side rebound, though, to Tyreek Smith.
When you play a great defensive team, one guy's got to get into the paint. There's another steal. Oh, it's a high
Gibson.
dribble. Oh, he banked it.
In a 3. How about that?
Bob, I think because he lost the ball, he thought he was going to get called for a travel. So as it came back in his hands, it nestled in his hands, he said, I think I better shoot this in case they do call it a travel. But I think he just bobbled it. I think he could have still continued his dribble.
McClung. That's short. A long rebound. Edwards. That won't go.
Man.
That banked in 3, by the way, by Umoja Gibson. He becomes the first player in the game with more than 1 field goal. 4 minutes to go in the first half. We've got 1 player in the entire game that's got 2 baskets.
You got 11 field goals between both teams. Oh, that looked like a little bad.
And it stays sloppy for the Sooners, but worried about the walk. And it ends up a trip to the back.
A high dribble. He just picks it up, says, I better shoot this before John Higgins calls this a travel. Good 1-2 step, lets it go, knocks it down.
So the transfer from North Texas, Umoja Gibson, heads to the bench with 4 minutes to go in the first half.
This is what you call, Bob, an ugly game. And sometimes when you're a good team and offense is not going, when you play a great defensive team, ugly is okay if you win it.
Santos Silva splits the double team.
Somebody went down.
So looks like we have an injury timeout with 3:47 to go in the first half. On Big Monday, Texas Tech has the early 3-point lead.
I agree, Seth. And Austin Reeves is not being here tonight certainly hurts them even more than Saturday.
Manick gets 2 looks and misses them both.
Yep. Grady's been in a mini slump since the return from COVID, but he's got to keep firing it. I think if you're Oklahoma right now, you're in great shape in the sense that you could be down 15 if Tech was making shots. Both teams are staying in the game with solid defense, nothing easy. Oh, nice.
Well, yeah, when you're wondering where to go, you have to go to Clarence Nadolny, right? I mean, he is clearly Texas Tech's go-to guy.
Hey, listen.
Why not?
We've been watching him in practice for 2 years, Bob. I got a chance to watch him a lot in Dallas, where he spends his summers, and kind of feeling like he should have been getting a little more time. But Chris Beard knows better, and he's stepping up.
Tyreek Smith with the spin. We'll check that Victory Walker. And he will draw the foul. That will draw the ire of Chris Beard. Well, avert your eyes as we take a look at our game summary. Got one team shooting 25%.
Oof.
One team shooting 27%. Davion Harmon and Mac McClung have combined for 2 total points. Walker to the free throw line. First trip to the line for Oklahoma tonight. Back to the update that we had coming back from the studio. A loss for Duke to Miami. Is there a chance we will have an NCAA tournament without Duke and Kentucky in it?
Yes.
In the same season?
Yeah, and maybe not Michigan State as well.
Wow.
Kansas will be in the tournament. They will finish strong based on their schedule. But Duke tonight losing to a team that has struggled for most of the year because of injuries. There's the Santos Silver again, Bob. I described him in the past as Norrens Odiasi, the transfer from VCU. He's not going to give you a lot of stats, but he gives you toughness inside, and those kind of baskets are important in a game like this because it's going to be an ugly game, and you have to find ways to get easy baskets.
Harkless. Manick with an offensive rebound. Gives it up to Hill. Jalen Hill out of the double team to Davion Harmon. There's an air ball off the hands of Manick and out of bounds. Well, we mentioned Duke. We've got another full day of college basketball across all our networks Saturday, highlighted by Duke, North Carolina in a Sonic blockbuster at 6 Eastern. And then it's a border battle between number 11 Tennessee and Kentucky at Rupp Arena. Both of these games are on ESPN and the app, so you can watch anywhere. So the rivalry game for Duke against North Carolina, that's big obviously for both. And then Kentucky with another chance to get a big win if they can beat a ranked Tennessee team to help their season. Again, the first time since 1960 we're going to get a Duke-North Carolina game with 2 unranked teams. That's amazing.
Yeah, you know what? The last time that they played that game when they were unranked, I think Larry Brown might have just been getting to North Carolina as a player. He could have been in high school, 1960.
Maybe that gets Manick on track. Nice shot fake to allow the flyby, and he knocks down a long 2 to make it a 3-point game. Closing minute of the first half. Santos Silva takes it to a wide open shooter in the corner, and McCullough makes it count.
Kevin is not a great shooter so far this year, but last year he knocked those down. That's only his 3rd 3 of the season, 3 for 16.
And there's McCullough getting the steal at midcourt. Took it away from Manick, but missed the layup. The follow is there for Kyler Edwards.
And this is what we talked about, Bob. Kevin McCullough is their toughness. See if Lon uses his timeout here.
He will. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. Big Monday, and Texas Tech has opened up an 8-point lead.
Well, Chris Beard talked about playing inside out through Santos Silva. And to watch him face the middle Eyes on the middle. He finds McCullough deep corner, and the youngster from San Antonio knocks it down. Good vision by the big guy inside. And what you got to do, Bob, when you catch in the low post, always catch and look middle, because you can see 90% of the court. And right there, Kevin McCullough took advantage, knocked it down. Good teamwork right there.
Texas Tech has won 5 of their last 6 head-to-head meetings with Oklahoma, including a 2-point win back in December earlier this season. A chance for Oklahoma to hold basically for the final shot of the first half, about a second and a half differential between shot clock and game clock. 5 on the shot clock for Manick. Turns and draws the foul with 5.1 to go in the half, so that will put Brady Manick at the free throw line.
Bob, having been in this situation in the past as a coach, the speech at halftime is going to be exactly the same, and they're going to tell their team, hey guys, we're in good shape, we can't play any worse. And Lon Kruger will say that. So right. If they get, like, hey, we're okay, we could be down 15, but we can't play any worse. We're going to play better in the next 20 minutes. And let me tell you something, I'm going to be anxious to see those first 3 minutes, what offensive adjustments either coach makes to free some of these guys to get them going, McClung and Harmon in particular.
McCullough with the rebound. Here comes McClung, looking for his first basket of the game, and just about had it. But how about that? The leading scorer in Big 12 play this season, averaging 21 points a game in conference play, is Mac McClung. He's scoreless, and Texas Tech has the lead. It's our halftime report. Back to the studio and Kevin the Guy. Welcome back to Big Monday on ESPN. And from Lubbock tonight, a low-scoring first half, just about set for the start of the second half between Texas Tech and Oklahoma. It is the Big 12 on ESPN as we take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance. And it has been nothing but a rewarding performance of late for Oklahoma. They've won 3 straight against AP top 10 teams during their 5-game win streak. They're averaging close to 76 points per game. They've only got 18 points on the board for Chris Beard's Red Raiders. The #1 scorer in Big 12 competition this season has been Mac McClung. He's scoreless, and yet his team has a 25-18 lead. Bob Wischusen and Fran Fraschilla just about set for the start of the second half. All right, Fran, if you're a defensive coordinator in this game, you're going to the locker room chest-bumping your guys. The offensive coordinators, if this was a football game, they'd need some Tylenol. What are the adjustments in the second half to try and get on track?
Well, for Oklahoma, if they're not going to win unless Brady Manick or Davion Harmon or both step up, they're 3 for 13. I've always said that Lon Kruger plays chess. Bob, have you ever played Battleship? He's playing Battleship tonight. He's guessing, okay? He's yelling B14, hoping for a hit. He needs some answers from his 2 best players on the floor tonight without Austin Reeves. Got to get into the paint.
Well, Manick did just that, but lost it. Although it looks like McCullough may be called for a foul. Did he grab the wrist of Jalen Hill, or is it just out of bounds off McCullough? I think that's the call.
Three made free throws tonight for Oklahoma, so they're not attacking.
Davion Harmon. Nice bullet pass into the lane, but it was a shot block as Kyler Edwards was there to deny Jalen Hill.
Yeah, Jalen Hill babied that ball up there. He's been great lately, but he's got to go up and dunk that or take Kyler Edwards' wrist off. Just early on, both teams looking to attack more, get into that paint.
Peavy is fouled.
Now you watch this great pass inside, and Jalen Hill right now, watch. You just got to go up and take his arm off. You just cannot baby that. Sophomore from Vegas has been really good lately off the bench. But that one he's going to watch on film and say, I'm going to either get to the weight room or I'm going to throw it down next time.
That foul on Umoja Gibson is his first. So Micah Peavy at the free throw line. He was number 32 in our ESPN 100. And Chris Beard said, look, he could be the next one. We had the Jarrett Culvers and Jemias Ramseys and Zaire Smiths of the world, and there are times in practice where Micah Peavy, or in a game, can have one of those highlight film moments where he looks like those guys. The question is, can the consistency in his play ever get to the level that those guys got to? If so, he's got NBA potential, friend, does he not?
I think he does, but his offensive game, Bob, is woeful right now. 44% from the line. He doesn't shoot jump shots. He's an energy guy. I love his future, but not for a while. See, they're keeping that ball on the sideline. No middle defense is what they want, and that's a foul.
Gibson draws the foul on Kyler Edwards.
Now, I haven't mentioned that this year, but we hear no middle defense about Texas Tech, Baylor. That's how teams have coached defense for 60 years. But it was only under Tony Bennett and his dad we hear pack line, where the ball's forced to the middle instead of the sideline. But no middle is not a new concept. That's
Harmon
big.
Connects.
Yep. Sometimes, Bob, we saw this last week with Deuce McBride. There's not going to be a lot of tricky offense tonight from Lon Kruger. He's going to need, that's an easy pass.
Brady Manick stuffs Kyler Edwards.
Yeah, Lon Kruger runs great offense, but tonight it could be as simple as what we saw last week in Morgantown, and that was Bob Huggins gave the ball to Deuce, said get out of his way, watch inside, a lot of challenge in there. And there's Jalen Hill, we talked about him earlier, babying that ball up, but he plays with good energy.
Chris Beard said earlier today, our guys have to understand this is going to be a different kind of game around the rim than we're used to. Santos Silva with the spin move. McCullough's follow won't go. Tapped around, it ends up with the shortest guy on the court as it's taken by Umoja Gibson. Here's Manick. Yes, for three.
Oh, man. I've got to tell you, that's got to feel great for Brady Manick, Bob. There have been times this season where he just seemed to have doubted himself. This is a guy that's made over 200 threes in a great career.
And now on the defensive end, it looks like Jalen Hill will be called for the foul as he collapsed on the double team. And Brady Manick, nearly 1,400 points for his career, just passing Mookie Blaylock to join the Sooner top 20 of all time.
Young man that grew up about 30 miles from Norman, grew up a Sooner fan, the Griffin boys.
Shannon to the cup.
First basket. Terrence Shannon, TJ had something interesting. I looked at the stats. He had 0 points in the first half, but he was a plus 13, higher than anybody on the floor the first 20 minutes.
Harmon squeezes inside and gets the layup.
Bob, you notice that they're attacking more, trying to get to the paint, and Davion Harmon's got to keep doing that. Both teams have decided that no matter what the scouting reports are, if you get a crease, drive the basketball to the rim.
Here's McClung. He gives it up to McCullough in the corner. At Manick, blocking foul is called. So Kevin McCullough will go to the free throw line.
What I don't like about that play on the closeout to McCullough, you don't have to close out long. And there's the drive. Looked like it was a block, but Bob, why would you challenge a closeout from a guy that's not a great shooter and then he gets to go to the rim? That's what we call closing out short. Go about 5 feet from him with a hand up, dare him to shoot, but don't play to his strength, letting him drive.
The Taco Bell Chalupa, so chewy, so flaky, nothing could make it better. Well played, Bacon. Well played. The Chalupa just keeps getting better. The Bacon Club Chalupa, now at Taco Bell.
My friend, to your point, Kevin McCullough is now 3 for 17 this season from three-point land. And yet you've got Oklahoma running out to try and defend the three-point line. They want to defend the three-point line if Davion Harmon steps into one. He misses. Gibson's got it. Harmon nearly lost it. Sets up Manick in the corner. He's got
big.
another.
Yep. This is what the doctor ordered, and you can tell already easier shots because of dribble penetration. They played on the perimeter for most of the first half, but early in the second half, they're getting downhill, Oklahoma.
Nice find. Shannon squeezes one inside, and Tyreek Smith kisses it home. Harmon picks up his dribble. Nice pass inside. Shot big by Hill. Can't get it to go. The back tap to Gibson.
Yep, Hill again.
And Gibson draws a foul. A 3-point lead for Texas Tech. What can Oklahoma get offensively, and what can Lon Kruger set up for them? Well, he'll play some chess when we come back.
Well, when Lon Kruger has Austin Reeves on the court, he can play chess. Take a look, late Kansas game. You see the best defender in the conference on Reeves. They create a switch. Now Jalen Wilson is on Reeves. That is a mismatch. Reeves sizes him up, gets downhill, and scores. Big bucket late. Let's go now second half. A little bit of the same. There's the big little screen and the switch. Now Harmon sizes up Smith. Get into the lane, which he does. Spins, little dump off inside, and that's what we talked about when we started this second half, Bob. You've got to be able to get into the paint off the dribble to create, and Davion Harmon did it really well on that particular play.
Many coaches out there that play chess as well as Lon Kruger.
Oh yeah. No, there's some great coaches. Bill Self does it. You know, hey, you know what? It's no different than Pete Carroll and Andy Reid, if you know what I mean. It's back and forth, adjustments for adjustments.
Gibson short on the floater, and Tyreek Smith grabs the rebound.
Now you're going to win some of those battles against great coaches, and you're going to lose them. See, Oklahoma's doing a lot of switching out top because they got versatile players, all the same size.
8 to shoot. TJ Shannon will drive it and finish.
Well, that's an adjustment right there. TJ Shannon, the lefty, felt he was being forced to his right hand, but he was able to get by the defender.
And now we've got a stoppage. Kip Kissinger heads over to the table.
You see that right-hand drive? That's exactly where Jalen Hill wants to force TJ Shannon. But, you know, he goes 75 miles an hour to his left hand. He still goes 60 to his right hand. Good job by the young man from Chicago who gets better and better.
It looks like we have a shot clock issue. So I'm not sure the shot clock ever, either it reset or it never started. And so John Higgins and Kip Kissinger over there trying to accurately determine where the shot clock should be right now. Just never started as Oklahoma brought the ball up the floor.
And the game
Fran,
clock didn't start either. Yeah.
If I would have told you that we would have gotten 5 minutes into the second half or so, and TJ Shannon would have 4 points on 2 made buckets, and Mac McClung would not have scored yet for Texas Tech, what would you think the score of this game would be?
Right. Well, certainly you'd think they would be behind, but I also think it speaks to the way both of these teams have developed their benches this year. You know, when you look at Texas Tech returning only 35% of the minutes from a year ago, when you talk about guys like Peavy and Tyreek Smith, Jamarius Burton, I think it bodes well for a team that is developing its bench over the course of the season. That's exactly what Chris Beard is doing. You know, much like Scott Drew says, we don't have 5 starters, we have 8. And what Oklahoma has done over the last 2 weeks, Bob, despite the fact they're without Williams and Reeves tonight, is develop their bench to the point when they get everybody back, it's going to be an advantage and a strength. I think the
both
key
of these teams played games right down to the wire in the Big 12 SEC Challenge on Saturday. Are you seeing that impact in how they're playing tonight?
No, I just think that when you get to the second time through a conference, I had to do this many times, you just have to understand the other team knows your stuff almost as well as you do, so you have to be more conscious of being fundamentally sound and executing and setting screens and cutting hard and driving hard.
Looks like 3 seconds is called against Iwuakor. Well, Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus is a must-have for Big 12 fans. Tuesday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, K-State battles number 23 Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse. Then Saturday night, the Red Raiders will take on K-State. Saturday, February 13th, Oklahoma, West Virginia will happen in Morgantown. All of those games available. If you're a Big 12 fan, you got to have it. Sign up today, ESPNplus.com/Big 12 Now.
6 Big 12 teams in the AP poll today, and Oklahoma State Cowboys getting votes. There's another steal by Gibson.
Moja Gibson lost it on the way up. McCullough is able to save it right back to Jalen Hill. Mid-range jumper, in and out for Burton. A rebound pulled down by Brady Manick.
Boy, how active is McCullough defensively, Bob? Came up empty that time on the offensive end, but he makes things happen. Very much like Harkless, Marcus Garrett. Of course, Davion Mitchell, maybe the best defensive player in the country for Baylor. Tough shot.
Harmon mid-range. Gibson in the corner. McCullough on him.
You notice how McCullough knows that he's a shooter, so he closed out hard.
Iwuakor sets up Davion Harmon. 5 to shoot. Harmon on the freshman Micah Peavy into the lane, and Peavy commits the foul. So Davion Harmon will go to the free throw line.
And that's making something out of nothing, because Micah Peavy switched on to Harmon and actually did a good job of keeping him in front. Harmon knew the clock was running down, so he makes contact. Take a look. He knows he's got to get to the rim, and the freshman Peavy, that's one where he'll learn, do not reach in when he's about to take a shot going to his offhand. This is a great story, this young man, Davion Harmon. He committed, Bob, to Lon Kruger as a junior when Trae Young was the talk of college basketball. I believe he came into Norman with 1 foot in the door and 1 foot to the NBA. Why? 2 of his best friends, R.J. Hampton and Tyrese Maxey, were heading that way. I thought last year he was really up and down. He recommitted himself. He has been outstanding this year as a sophomore. One of the most improved players in the league, if not college basketball.
He doesn't look like a sophomore. He looks like a senior. He was a tone setter on Saturday in that win over Alabama. As McCullough has it in the corner. Sets up Burton, and now Santos Silva in the post with the jump hook. McCullough, an offensive rebound. And that may have hit the stanchion, unless a foul was called. It looks like a foul was called. It looks like they're going to get Iwuakor.
You know who appreciates Kevin McCullough? Coaches. This kid is everywhere. Take a look now. You remember how we talked about them missing him the first 9 or 10 games? He is just a terrific glue guy, tough guy, super glue, I guess.
Harmon outside to Harkless. The back tap
nice
by
job.
Iwuakor. Gibson for 3. That won't go. But
he got fouled.
McCullough fouls Gibson shooting a 3.
That's the second time he's closed out hard. But watch the tip out by Iwuakor right here. This is great basketball. Now, this guy you have to close out on because he can shoot it, and you can see that he clips Gibson in the act of shooting, and that's a big foul. You know what I call that, Bob? That's an era of commission as opposed to omission. You can almost live with a guy playing that hard, except he's got to know better. He's got to come up a little bit short.
Now, all of the hustle plays he makes, I'm sure Chris Beard probably gives him a little more leeway, and maybe he's a little more forgiving of a foul like that than you might be with some other players, because Kevin McCullough's he's a whirling dervish. He's all over the court making every 50-50 hustle play you ask him to make.
And he's got to learn. That's what he'll do. As a sophomore, he'll learn that he's got to close out a little smarter. And all of a sudden, Oklahoma, who couldn't throw it in the ocean, is back in this game without two key players tonight.
Oklahoma shooting 30% from the field, but we are tied. The scoop won't go for Burton. It's tapped around. Harkless finds Harmon, and that's
Nice
rejected by McClung.
Well, he's not gotten untracked offensively, but watch the hustle by Mac McClung. Boy, he came hard on that. Give him credit. He could have slowed up knowing that he had a teammate, Edwards, ahead of him, but he said, no, I'm going to contribute tonight, even if I'm not getting my opportunities offensively. Got the switch.
7 to shoot. Harmon picks up his dribble. Now it's Gibson. In the lane, he picks up his dribble. Gets it back. Harmon, did he beat the timer? That hit the front of the rim, so they will say that Oklahoma got that shot off in time, but it was low percentage. And a chance for Texas Tech to take the lead back. Deflected ball by Harkless. It will stay with Tech when we come back. Under 12 to go. We're tied on Big Monday.
No matter which shade of blue you bleed.
This rivalry is the very best that college basketball has to offer.
It is our Sonic Blockbuster this Saturday, 6 Eastern, North Carolina and Duke Chapter 1. And two teams that at this point, Fran, are desperate to get a win in that game just to build their resume to make the NCAA tournament, as crazy as that is to say ever about a Duke North Carolina game.
Absolutely, yep. The last time both of these teams were unranked, Dwight Eisenhower was president of the United States. That puts it in perspective, 60 years ago.
Oklahoma shooting 28% from the field, Texas Tech 33%. So it's low scoring, but it is tied with 11.5 to go on Big Monday. Shannon with a nice head fake. Edwards looking for some room, creates some, tosses up an air ball, and Umoja Gibson's got the rebound.
No, Walker was all over Edwards and created that bad shot. Edwards just threw it up there. Oh,
Harkless, screen and roll, and Queth kicks it out to Gibson for 3. A long rebound run down by Kirkweth. Harkless lost it. A scramble for it. Queth keeps it alive. It'll be a held ball, and the arrow will give it to Texas Tech.
That play right there is emblematic of the entire night because nothing has come easy. Oklahoma still shooting under 30%. Texas Tech slightly better. Bob, that last inbounds play underneath for Texas Tech, not a lot happened except that Oklahoma went to the exact same spot that the Red Raider players went. And so what you're dealing with is, this is like playing in the neighborhood with guys you grew up with and you know everything they're going to do.
Mac McClung still looking for his first basket. He has not been held under 16 in a Big 12 game this season. And McCullough draws a foul.
What I like about McClung tonight is that he's only taken 4 shots and he's not hunting shots. It's not coming his way. He's being defended well and probably frustrated inside right now. And you can see by the look, but look what he's done over the last 7 games, Bob. This is all-American type play. But what I like about him is 2 things. Number 1, he's not forcing it. And then here's the question I ask you. You think he'll be ready to take a big shot down the stretch?
No question.
Yep. I think so too.
Double figures for McCullough. for the 6th time in the 9 games he's played since coming back from the high ankle sprain.
So little token 2-2-1 pressure right here, hoping that Oklahoma gets sloppy, and instead it's a foul, silly foul by TJ Shannon, 40 feet from the basket. What you're doing right here without Reeves is you're just hoping a nuisance press will force a cheap turnover, but instead TJ Shannon, a former football player by the way, Lincoln Park High School where that was his first love, he doesn't mind the contact.
Harkless double teamed. Skips one cross court to Hill. He's double teamed as well. Skips it right back to Harkless for 3. TJ Shannon's got the rebound, but throws it away. Harkless playing center field, draws the foul on Santos Silva.
I said it in the first half. Right now, Lon Kruger is saying to himself, I can't believe we can play this poorly and still be in this game. And there have been games I coached like this in the past, Bob, where you actually just get to the locker room after a win like this on the road and go, I don't know how we did it, but we'll take it and we'll go back to campus. And Chris Beard knows that.
Santos Silva becomes the first player in the game for either team with 3 fouls. So he will sit down.
See, everything's being labored. It's labored for Oklahoma without Austin Reeves and his ability to really get downhill.
Five on the shot clock. Elijah Harkless trying to create, dribbles it right off his own shin, out of bounds. And it is the 10th OU turnover.
Elijah is the backup point guard without Reeves, and Lon Kruger is really comfortable with him in that role, but not against this type of defense. You're talking about one of the best defensive teams in the country, and Harmon has been the only player tonight for Oklahoma who's been able to exploit the paint with the dribble. He's back in.
Shannon posts uphill, ducks under, and that will be goaltending.
Yep.
And it will be on E. Walker.
Energetic guy. They love his shot blocking. That time he got a little anxious, and I think Shannon would have made that layup anyway.
There's only about 4,000 folks allowed at United Supermarkets Arena, but Chris Beard wants all 4,000 to try and make as much noise as the normal 15 or 16,000 would make if they were all allowed inside.
Good to see some fans in the stands, hopefully safely socially distancing tonight.
Davion Harmon again bothered, and he is fouled.
But I like that. See, he's got to push the pace and force the issue now. The only way they'll get creative offensively is if he takes over and just forces it, and he'll go shoot some free throws. Last Monday night, Bob, with all due respect to Bob Huggins, who's going into the Hall of Fame, he basically said to Deuce McBride, take the ball and take over, please, okay? We're not running any tricky plays. We need tricky players right now. And Davion Harmon against this defense has to become a tricky player.
If you watch the game on Saturday for Oklahoma against Alabama, without Austin Reeves and Alondes Williams for the first time in these 2 games, they'll be without both. There was just this overall attitude, and it probably came off of Davion Harmon more than any other individual player, of we're good. I got this. Even without Austin Reeves, we're going to be fine. As McClung goes to the basket, and he will try and get on the board at the free throw line. But they looked like a team that weren't missing not only their best player and a couple of starters. They looked like a team that was very comfortable in a big spot against another top 10 team at home. And Lon Kruger's club, for the 3rd consecutive time, beat a top 10 opponent.
Yeah, and I expected this tonight, Bob. Having been in those situations on Saturday like Lon was, your team went without a key guy or two, which they were without Reeves and Williams. Everybody elevates because they know what's at stake, and subsequently Alabama, I thought, came out flat thinking they were going to roll over undermanned Oklahoma. The problem is, once you get past the energy and emotion of Saturday. Now you got to go beat another team that's in the top 15, who is a great defensive team.
McClung finally on the board. His first 2 points. Texas Tech by 4. Harmon from the elbow. Connects.
Yes. This is what he's got to do. You got to turn into Deuce McBride. And both of those guys are capable. Forget the offense.
The 12 for Harmon right now leads all scorers. TJ Shannon. He answers.
8 points in the second half. Scoreless in the first. Now he's got to pick his spots. He can't go one-on-one every time, but he's got to keep creating and get downhill.
He's got Tyreek Smith caught on a switch. And there's the 3 over the big man, but Tyreek Smith got a piece.
Tyreek did a good job of spacing the drive, but he had the length to challenge the shot, get a piece of it.
McClung on Manick. He'll try a 3. That's off the mark. The back tap, though, keeps it alive.
How about those
and
back
Nadolny
taps?
recovers.
Yep, those back taps count as rebounds, but they're just so deflating.
Shannon shovels one to Smith. Back up top. Long on the 3 was Kyler Edwards, but it's another 20-second shot clock reset for Texas Tech.
Yep, McClung got a piece of it.
Nadolny is fouled. So he will shoot some free throws when we come back with 7 minutes to go on Big Monday. Well, everything is bigger in Texas. Right now, basketball-wise, everything's better in Texas, too. Bob Wischusen, Fran Fraschilla back on Big Monday. Well, right now, basketball, you would think, would never really compete head-to-head with football in Texas, right, Fran? But, well, you start to run through what the basketball schools in Texas look like. You've got 3 in the top 6. Throw in Texas Tech at 13th. And round ball all of a sudden seems to rule the day in Texas. This is probably about as good as it's been for a long time, or in a long time, college basketball-wise, in the Lone Star State.
Well, you've heard me say it before. High school basketball is great in this state. I got to tell you also, remember, Shaka Smart recruits nationwide, as do a lot of these schools. And the Big 12 over the last 15 years have just become a great basketball conference. You're talking about 8 coaches who've been to the Elite 8 and 6 to the Final 4. And again, coupled with great talent in this region, great high school coaching, it is a recipe for terrific basketball. They're challenging that line. Gibson has got those defenders in his shorts.
Manick tried to look diagonal as he was trying to find Harkless, and eventually the ball off the carom ends up with Harkless. He has to launch one. He made it! He beats the timer with a 3 from NBA range.
I'll tell you what Elijah Harkless did. He looked up at the clock and said, I'm going to be calm and I'm just going to get the ball on the rim, hope that my teammates can make it, rebound it. He makes the shot.
McClung that close to his first field goal as he will go back to the free throw line.
Let's go back now. Watch the loose ball. Watch Elijah Harkless take a peek. He knows now. He sees it. I just got to get it on the rim. Hopefully Manick can. Oh, wait a minute. It went in. He knows he's got to get it up. He gets it up, and sometimes you just get lucky. A blind squirrel finds the acorn every now and then.
Elijah Harkless, he did not have an offer until his senior year of high school, and it was between Long Beach State and Cal State Northridge. He went to Northridge and ends up being kind of a jack-of-all-trades Swiss Army knife player there, and he looks like he belongs in the Big 12 now that he's made this move.
Oh yeah, no, he only started 2 games as a freshman for the Matadors. By the way, you know who he played AAU basketball for? LeVar Ball. Big ballers. He played a little bit with the Ball brothers, and not sure if that helped his career or not, but he's playing on Big Monday.
He got talked about, I guarantee you that. That one thrown to nowhere by Davion Harmon. So Texas Tech has the ball back in a 4-point lead.
This is beautiful. This is not a Picasso tonight, but this is like drawing a masterpiece with crayons, Bob. Crayons tonight.
What a Super Tuesday doubleheader. We begin tomorrow night on ESPN and the app at 7 Eastern with the matchup of the night in Austin. Number 6 takes on number 2, Texas and Baylor. And then we head to the Big Ten for number 12, Illinois, squaring off against Indiana. That in Bloomington. Big 12, Big 10, that's Super Tuesday. That's your doubleheader tomorrow night. And Fran, game 1, number 6 against number 2. Who do you like?
Yep. You know, if I'm Texas right now, watching this game after they just had their snacks and film session, I'm going to bed tonight thinking it's about time we step up and create some noise for ourselves. It's been a great season for Shaka Smart's team. He's back from COVID protocol, but it's time to step up, Texas, and knock off number 2.
Brady Manick with the rebound. And down goes Harkless again, slow to get up, but he'll stay in the game. It's a couple of times that Elijah Harkless has gone down and quickly recovered to make sure he stays on the floor.
Trying to isolate him, and McCullough has been great defensively tonight. Look at this.
Harkless with a jumper over McCullough. And that will be rebounded by Kyler Edwards.
Yep, the MVP of this game, Bob, has been Kevin McCullough. 10, 6 rebounds, 4 steals. Lockdown defense, except for the 1 foul on the 3-point shot, which you forgave already, right? Because of his effort.
I'm very forgiving.
Yes, I am too. Love the effort.
Shannon through a double team. That's blocked by Manick. Jalen Hill may have gotten a piece as well. Gibson the other way, or check that Harmon, and he draws the foul. Micah Peavy with the reach in. So that'll put Davion Harmon at the free throw line.
And through the years at Oklahoma, Brady Manick has been a very underrated shot blocker. You see right there, his body is nowhere near the driver, just got the hand up. And I got to tell you now, I told you earlier, remember how bad Oklahoma looked? This is one of those games where you're just trying to steal it and get on the charter, and the Quiznos or the Subways will taste great. You can't do it that way. And make your free throws.
McClung stripped away, and it will stay with Texas Tech.
I think it's great that Texas Tech is up, and McClung has got 4 points, all from the foul line.
Again, this would be the first game this season in Big 12 play. He has been held to less than 16. He has been so consistent, as Shannon a little long on that jumper. The rebound to Elijah Harkless, and a chance for Oklahoma to make this a one-possession game again.
There's a switch and a switch back. Very good.
Manick off balance, got caught in between a shot and a pass, and ended up putting up an awkward-looking jumper.
Santos Silver just made a great deal. Oh! Gibson has been
recovers
everywhere.
As Gibson just about took it away. Wide open. It's McCullough. He's got a 3. That's his 2nd of the game and only his 4th of the season.
That started because Gibson almost stole it from McClung. He got it back. Great kick out. Now they're trying to take McClung, and Harkless can go nowhere.
Harkless sets up Hill. He pulled the string.
Jalen Hill has had point-blank shots tonight, Bob. He's 1 for 8. And they have all been great looks.
Shannon. Rainbow 3 off the feed from McCullough.
Now, Kevin McCullough's your MVP tonight, folks, because he's just made 2 great plays to add to the resume in an ugly game. He's been beautiful.
Hill tries to seal inside over the top of McCullough. He'll try again with a shot fake, and this time the second effort pays off for Jalen Hill.
Let's see if Oklahoma will speed up the tempo a little bit right now. This is still a possession game, but soon you have to put your comeback game together with some pressing and trapping.
McCullough
Travel.
throws it up in midair. It's taken away by Gibson. He'll pull up for three. Yes!
There you go. Yep. That's why I say, Bob, it's still a possession game. They don't have to foul and press yet. 2 possessions. There'll be about 8 more in this game.
Edwards at the free throw line. McCullough skips one cross court to Edwards.
Good challenge.
5 to shoot. Santos Silva fades away. That's short. Manic the rebound. How about this? Down by 10 a moment ago, and seemingly maybe an empty gas tank. All of a sudden, Oklahoma has a chance to make this a 1-possession game again.
And not a surprise, this is what makes this team very dangerous in February and March. Can they get a good look?
Gets the bounce.
And he's down again, Bob.
This time Elijah Harkless may not get up, as he was shrieking in pain. This is the 3rd time during the game that he's gone down. Both of the first 2 times, he was able to pop back up and stay in the game.
You can tell why Juan Kruger loves this kid.
He's got a bloodied lip, and they're looking at his leg as well. Tough as nails, Elijah Harkless. Hopefully he can shake this off. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. It's a 3-point game on Big Monday with 1:28 to go. The good news for Elijah Harkless is it looks like it was just a cramp. Watch on the spin move. As soon as he hits the deck, you're worried about a knee or an ankle. He doesn't appear to be in pain, and then all of a sudden, his right leg seizes up, and he grabbed it and called to the trainers. They came out and stretched it out. And Fran, for the 3rd time tonight, after the trainers have taken a look at Elijah Harkless, he is shaking it off, and he is staying on the floor.
He's a Timex. He's a Timex. He takes a licking, keeps on ticking. Even if it's a $39 watch, he's going to keep on ticking.
So now Texas Tech with the basketball, up 3, 1:20 to go. Mac McClung still without a field goal.
Got a switch, bud. Here he goes.
He leans in here and draws the foul. There's no player in the Big 12 that draws more fouls or shoots more free throws than Mac McClung, and this is a position that Chris Beard's team has been in before, Fran, and they've been on a roller coaster with these 1-possession results.
Oh yeah, Oklahoma, same thing. They've been in about 5 or 6 of these themselves. In fact, the last game these 2 teams played on December 22nd, it came right down to the wire.
Six for 6 at the line for McClung.
Yep, I would push this. Now, they're not going to be able to push it in transition, but create something to get Davion Harmon to the rim. Or here's a mismatch.
Harkless to Gibson. Hits a 3. His 3rd of the night.
Yep. They put it in Harkless's hands the last 3 possessions, Bob. He created, and that time he got to the middle and kicked it out. We've seen this before.
McClung for 3. That won't go. A foul call. Shannon was undercut by Harkless. Off of the miss. Harkless trying to block out, and he gets called for the foul.
Watch this now. Juan Kruger again playing chess, looking for the mismatch. He puts it in Harkless's hands, who gets to the middle, and he gets Gibson. Now, when you say mismatch, you got Shannon on him. Well, in that case, he's comfortable with Harkless getting to the lane easier than Harmon is, and it worked.
TJ Shannon's first trip to the line tonight. He's a very reliable free throw shooter at 81%. It's a big one. Makes it a 2-possession game with 40 seconds to go.
Let's see if they go back to Harkless on that elbow. to create. Now they're going Hill on McClung. Matchups.
Hill spins.
Look at that.
Plays it in.
That's what we talked about. Lon Kruger figures out, Bob, where can I go to get the best offensive opportunity? They're not playing battleship right now. They're playing chess, okay? They're not guessing. They've got a plan. They're going to go at McClung and watch Jalen Hill. Nice poise. He's not going to run McClung over. Pump fake, score, perfect. Okay, this is what we talk about. How do you take advantage of the mismatch in a game? And this is exactly what Lon Kruger's doing now that he could not do in the first half.
Now, will Chris Beard do the same at the other end? And what are you looking for if you're Texas Tech to try and make this a two-possession lead again?
Well, the first thing you got to do is let's get the ball in. Let's get it in with 25 seconds. Is that what we got on the clock? Let's make sure that we get it in cleanly. And they are a good free throw shooting team, Bob. So they've got to get the ball in the hands of a McClung, Edwards, Shannon. These guys can all make free throws. Now, one thing we talked about in that last timeout when we were not on the air, these two coaches spend as much time on late game situations as anybody that I watched during the season. It's an everyday occurrence. I compare it to special teams. You got to know how to onside kick or run the field goal unit out with no timeouts left. Similar situation in basketball. Both of these guys spend a lot of time with their team doing this. And by the way, we saw it on Saturday when LSU came from 7 down with 1:10. They had a plan. So does Oklahoma. Oklahoma's going to press, foul right away, put somebody on the line, and stretch the game out if they don't get a steal.
If you're Chris Beard, McClung is 0 for 7. Do you still want him to be looking to take a shot here?
Well, where we are right now is, with this much time, I think they're going to have to foul. And by the way, 0 for 7, I still want it in his hands if he's the guy that ends up catching it.
And with the shot clock turned off, Oklahoma, if they don't get the steal, will have to give a foul. And they get it to McClung. Smart play as he gets tied up. They've got 3 timeouts. Will they use one here? And they will.
So I love that. And they didn't foul. Well, you know why they didn't foul? Because they knew they had the possession arrow. Again, they get Texas Tech. They practice this. Watch how easily they get it in. Now here comes the double. They get rid of it. And now watch Oklahoma, the discipline not to foul. He picks up his dribble. They're looking for a jump ball without fouling because they have the possession arrow. You don't see that type of intelligent basketball played every single night during the season. You know, our colleague Seth Greenberg said something interesting, that Lon Kruger is one of the most underrated coaches in the country. I would agree, but I'd also say this. He's so understated that he's underrated. He's not a guy looking for commercials and all those type of things, those ancillary things. He is a ball coach.
Still 2 timeouts as well for Texas Tech. So if they have a problem getting it in, if they get tied up again, they have outs here to make sure that they don't turn it over. Shannon's got it. Again, he's an 81% free throw shooter. And now the foul is given with 14.6 seconds to go.
At some point, you have to give the foul. You don't want that time to run off the clock. Now, if you're Oklahoma, you only need 1 miss. If you're down 4 and you're Oklahoma, drive it to the basket. Texas Tech will not take a chance and foul you.
Manick back in. Certainly want all of your 3-point opportunists on the floor right now. If you're Oklahoma, so getting Brady Manick back in is a no-brainer for Lon Kruger. This is the big one, though, for TJ Shannon. That's a 4-point game.
Gotta go.
Harmon. Step back 3. High rebound. It's corralled by Nadolny with 3 seconds to go. And Texas Tech draws the foul with a 4-point lead A valiant effort for Oklahoma on the road off of 3 consecutive wins against top 10 teams. Looks like it's going to fall short as Texas Tech is 3 seconds away from winning a battle. And tonight's player of the game brought to you by Phillips 66. And Fran, you talked about it. He stuffs the box score in so many different ways. Kevin McCullough.
Absolutely. He missed the first 9 or 10 games, I believe, of the season. And but he's so important. By the way, Bob, Oklahoma came in here playing with house money. They'll get Austin Reeves back Saturday, and they are a good basketball team, obviously.
A 5-point win for Texas Tech over OU, and that's a big one for Tech as well, after they lost a heartbreaker on Big Monday last week. So for Fran Fraschilla and our entire crew, I'm Bob Wischusen. It's time for Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt.